on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone.
Vitamin G. Got what you need. Vitamin G. Got what you need.
All alone.
Vitamin G. Discussing that heat in the street. Hey, we got just what you need on Vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. You rockin' with beats, discussing the heat in the streets. Take over the west and the east. I got what you need, a dose of this vitamin G. Vitamin G.
I'm on the outside looking in, and I wanna be back on the inside. I don't wanna be left on the outside, all alone. All alone.
Who's going? Is that Jube?
No, it's me, Nappy.
Oh, Nappy. I was hearing fighting game, so I thought maybe.
No, I'm playing the Devil May Cry mobile game. I'm doing good. I've been playing a lot of Power World.
Oh yeah. You know of it.
Yeah, so I kind of realized a big problem with, well, just on the server side of it. The server side is that because the game's still in early access, there is a memory leakage problem. Basically, some games where basically when assets loads in, it doesn't deload. And it just keeps on stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking to the point where like a game will crash.
Anyway,
the developers are gonna have to fix it. I mean, what do you say?
Anyway, they can fix it, or are you doomed?
We're not doomed. I mean, you can fix it. It just takes some time. Why is my webcam not working? It's just going in and out. Well, I mean, I can't. The only thing about Power World, they did say it was early access, so bugs were expected. So they did at least mention that part. So it's like part of me is like, yeah, but the other part of me is like, well, they did say that was early access, so I can't be too.
Tryna run the town, tell no duck when they hear that sound. How they gon' come up now? Heavy as the head that'll wear that crown. I'm going pound for pound. And if it's about smoke, then we told all of that. From an ounce to a pound. Take it, they buy in the sound. Cause my drip right up the seat. How could they be?
Like,
Give me a couple of rounds. Cause I'm a beast. When I'm on vitamin G. You see this not crumbling now. Mad struck, stop mumbling now. Get the gist, I ain't reaching for cloud. Plot twist, I'm the one with the keys. Clock blitz, know they love how I freeze. Different continents, I be torn. We living life, making yours look boring. See, we win at the end, it's a spoiler warning. Cause I keep heating up, I might blow the whole planet. They calling me toxic like global warming. But they keep tuning in once again and again. I'm the one at the top, just to form a warning. Truly, I'm the narrow when it come to movies. Get the narrow, entertain the groupies. Hop in narrow if you come pursue me. But I hop on the gang, too busy rolled up whenever my girl getting moody. Link up with the gang, we all go insane. Catching them bills on the duty. On the sticks and I'm locked in. Bought a box, I was like 10. Back then, used to box, nowadays they ain't throwing hands. Mama said we got more advanced. One thing about me, I adapt, bought a Glock fin. Keep me safe from the block in. The game kept me off the block. Ain't got flex about looting my Ruger. I can shit on you with my computer. See my graphics card goes more than your damn job can afford to pay you. And my monitor, big as hell, detail, so I can see when I spray you. Then reload the clip and record the clip. It's go all say to that SSD. Know a whole lot of trill game heads like me when they see tuned into that VGP.
Podcast. Yeah, what you want to say, Nappy?
I'm gonna say the intro's still playing.
What? That's weird. Cause he did tell me the 7 minutes. But the weird part is, on my end, there is no longer that timing, that timer, that the intro is playing. Can you let me know when the intro is over?
I'll let you know on my part.
Thank you. Pero yeah. Well, you thought he's dodging, no? How was MK for you? How was MK?
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah?
I've enjoyed what I've played of it. Like, I just don't have time to be playing games, so I've been avoiding the things I actually like to get through my backlog. So, like, I'm on limited time right now. I don't want to get into something that I like at it. Time.
I see.
Get through shit.
All right, I'm live on my end, so we can see each other.
Okay. So, welcome everyone to episode 226 of Vitamin G Podcast. We got a loaded show for you today. But let's jump into the intro. Jubei, Tekken is finally here. How are you? And what you been playing?
Hey yo. Yeah, shout outs to Tekken 8. I need to get some money first, so we'll see. I will be getting it though. Hopefully Zero gets it too, so I have another game I can have Dragon. Since he ain't seen me on Street Fighter 6 yet.
It's time and opportunity, baby. What are we talking about? my DJ is ready, duh.
I'm talking about Pharaoh.
My man said you ducking and dodging him.
But yeah, just nothing too crazy. I need to get back in the PAL world. Like I just got shit I gotta catch up on. It's gonna be nice when I find him.
That's it? Or...
Yeah, I'm good, man. Simple.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay. That was very quick. Nafi, how are you, man? What you been playing yourself?
For me, I have been heavily into Power World. I was talking to you before, but I would let everyone know. So I decided Power World, because it's like a survival game, I decided to go to Apex hosting and get a server for myself and a few friends, a private one. I will say the game is really fun. I'm starting to notice some of the issues with Power World as far as optimization because they have a issue with a memory leakage. Basically, if you guys are not familiar, like when you play a video game and you basically a bunch of your asset stuff sits on your RAM cards before it gets released. Before it gets utilized when you're like in proximity or when it's loaded in the assets and then deloading the assets. The thing about Power World, because it's such a fresh new build, and it's kind of like this. It's like when it loads in, it stays in. Like everything stays active. And as you can see, as big as the world as Power World is, the more stuff that loads in, it stays in, more resources it takes up, and it gets to the point where the game will just crash. And I now understand why the game has issues with the servers, because memory leakage is a big thing. And if you have a 32 plus people server and you immediately load in all those 32 people and all those assets, you're going to make that RAM, you're going to make the limits of the RAM overfill extremely easily. So it's an early build, so I'll give it a pass for that. I still think that Power World is a really fun game to play. I think the best experience for most people, especially if you have a busy schedule, is to download the Power server software, especially if you're playing by yourself. And what you do is once you get the software set up, which is extremely easy to do, jump into your own world, and then you can have your as long as your computer is on, your internal server on your computer will be active, so that way you'll be progressing. Because the biggest selling point for Power World, for being besides catching all the pals, is progressing. It's progressing in the game, and the best way to progress in the game is literally to set up your base on a server, or just make your PC into a server, set it up, so that way when you go to work and come back, you got like all these materials. Because if you do, private worlds are just it's still fun on private worlds. It just takes a long time. So I'm experiencing that. I really do hope the developers honestly fix this memory leakage issue, which is hard to pinpoint because since the game's early, there's a plethora of issues that can cause it. But also, congratulations on selling 8 million copies. You went from 3 to 4 to 5 to 8. Good job. I know one of the developers was talking about how he was working at a gas station. So
you think they're gonna be able to make it work? What I mean by that is this.
Over time they will. I mean, the games are still an early build, and they got everything working. They just need to optimize everything. Because if you're playing as a single player experience with a private world, it works fine. The memory leakage just happens with the when you have a dedicated open server, and they're still working out the kinks. They're working with Epic Games, and right now, plus it's kind of weird because everyone's basically getting their slice of the pie of Power World. But they're working with Epic Games on trying to get as much servers and how to optimize the game as much as possible. Because the game sold so much, I'm pretty sure they're going to fix the server issues, because if they don't, that's going to make this game fail. That definitely will make the game fail if they don't fix this memory leakage issue, which I give them about maybe like 3 weeks to a month.
I see.
But yeah, other than that, I'm gonna wait for. I was gonna get Tekken 8, but I forgot I got to take my girl sledding. So, I mean, not sledding, snow tubing. So she got to go snow tubing, and so Tekken 8 gotta wait, unfortunately.
Okay.
So, but other than that, I have been doing good. Just been working mostly. Still trying to catch up on these YouTube reviews for controllers because I'm extremely behind. And there's been a lot of controllers coming out with Hall effect joysticks. It seems like Hall effect joysticks is now becoming the standard for controllers now. So it's no longer like this special thing that's limited for certain controllers.
I see. Hero, how are you, man? And what you been playing?
What is going on, people? I am doing absolutely well. Back into video games full force. I have officially completed my favorite game of all time, Star Ocean Second Story R. Already started on my post game preview, which is the Maze of Tribulations, Trials of Tribulations, whatever. It's a post-game in-game dungeon with harder bosses and enemies. So running through that, making my way through Ori, which is really fun. Ori's a really good game. Like I know it's
Nice.
from 20. How old is Ori? Ori is old, right?
One
Yeah.
or two?
I'm doing one. I'm playing both back to back.
Interesting.
So like, is Ori like 2016?
Yeah, and so far I remember one doesn't have that much of a heavy emphasis on combat.
The first one doesn't seem to have a lot of emphasis on combat. It's more like traversal.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that, and I don't know if they came out around the same time, but Ori gives me a lot of the same vibes as Hollow Knight. And Hollow Knight is probably one of the best Metroidvanias I've ever played. So I really appreciate the game, and particularly those two games. Ori's really fun. PlayStation side, Grand Blue. I haven't started it, but I downloaded it.
Wait, Grand Blue's out now?
Yeah, it's out.
Yep, came out today.
Well,
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to tell her to cancel this snow tubing.
it's out. I'm not sure if it's the fuck you need to have the fuck Giga edition for it or not.
I don't care. She's gonna have to wait. No more snow tubing.
I'm not sure. A friend of mine whose game shared, so I just used his. But I saw it wasn't technically available until midnight today.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah, so maybe you might be right on that, Omar. But like, it might be a special edition that you got to get early access to it.
Let's check the store. Steam store.
And as Jubei has brought up, I've not gotten it yet. I will probably get it after I finish the first Ori, but Tekken 8 is definitely the next game in the list. I'm generally shocked that, like, well, first of all, Tekken 8 is clearly the best fighting game of this year, and it's January, so that's impressive. I don't think there's anything else that can come even close.
Damn, I mean, give. You got like January's not even over yet. It's basically over.
Well, you know, if we were if the other two big dogs hadn't shown up already in Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat
fucked up.
Unless Marvel versus does something wild, I don't see anybody taking it. Maybe a Blaze Blue. That's the closest.
I mean, Blaze Blue already came out. I mean, it's not bad though. It has a really solid community and people love the gameplay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Pharaoh, you here? I'm not back yet. He's not?
Your boy is back. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, you're back. So go ahead.
Hey,
how are you? What you been playing?
What is going on, everyone? What have I been playing? Really, I just been playing. Just slow playing through. Tales of Arise. Sorry, I've been bouncing around.
I thought you were
that and I was doing the Power the DLC.
Oh, DLC. Okay.
Yeah, just doing the Power World DLC.
Wait,
and that's about it.
Not
Power World, but Power World and
okay, so you're playing both. Okay, I see.
Yeah, and Tales of Rise DLC. That's pretty much the only thing I really touched recently. Other than that, I ain't really touched much. But looks like I came back, made it back in time for intros.
Yeah, you're on time. You literally just did your intro.
Okay. Cool. So
as for me, I been playing a few games. So I started Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Okay.
I'm at chapter 8. I'm loving it. Combat, I'm not enjoying it, but story-wise, I'm loving it. Other than that, I started a Metrovania. It's a okay, so what is this? It's a Metrovania soul-like game called Grind.
Wait, what game is this?
Grind. Yeah. GRIME. I highly recommend it if you're a fan of pairing.
Okay.
Why does that name sound familiar?
So basically, you're almost like a rock dude or a void dude that gets the ability by defeating enemies by parrying them. Every enemy you find a way to parry, you absorb its power of some sort of power. Um, Story-wise, I have absolutely zero idea what I'm doing, but I'm enjoying the combat, so that's what I'm playing it for. And the bosses, they stay fresh. It's as always pattern understanding and managing to dodge and stuff like that. But there is um, a gameplay mechanic here and there that they implement mid boss fight. So I highly recommend that. And other than that, I also started again Near Replicant.
Okay.
Ooh, where are you? Did you do the new version of the Replicant or the old school version?
What do you
My
mean?
sound's way too loud.
Near Replicant is a remaster one.
The remaster. Okay, so you're doing new. Okay, so it's not as bad, but I will say that the pacing of that game still has the old school pacing, which made it's good. If you stick with it, it's good, but it is kind of tedious.
I played OG Near Replicant, so
Okay, then so you should be fine then.
I'm talking during PlayStation 3 era, so I'm aware of what I'm expecting. This one, yeah, as always, Nier has always been a franchise that I truly enjoy. It's just for some reason I never end up finishing the game. I'm not sure why, so I'm gonna be committed to finish this one. And actually buying Nier Automata and playing it all over again. Because I was on the second playthrough with the other character.
Nice.
Yep. And I got bored with him. His hacking ability became so fucking boring that it's
Yeah.
now not even funny. But it's a slog, and I will need to get through it if I want to get the reward, which is the third playthrough. I'm gonna say who. But that's it for me.
Okay.
Pero go ahead. Take over a minute. Pero before we start, ask in chat if you know who is the singer for the opening intro of VGP.
The opening person, I can look it up. I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. All right, let me just do the headphone thing.
Do it after the show, no problem.
Okay. Cool. Let's see. Everyone else went through intros?
Yep, everyone
Yep.
did the intro.
All right. Yeah, that was pretty quick. Okay.
I mean,
1 second. Let me get oriented real quick, and then we'll jump into our. All right. I didn't even have time to put the topics in the show, so y'all just gonna have to bear with us today. I apologize, everyone. But topic number 1. Yeah.
I thought you would end with that, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm leading off with that one. That's kind of around the internet. So last week Microsoft announced that they were laying off 1,900 employees. And that was mainly people from the Activision Blizzard acquisition that had what's the word I'm looking for? Overlapping positions. There were a couple people who were affected at the Xbox Game Studio side and the ZeniMax side, but it was mainly ABK employees that left. Mike Ybarra stepped down as head of Blizzard, so he left, and CEO of ABK today. It was a African American female. I can't think of her name at the moment. But yeah, so a lot going on over there. From what I have read and heard so far, it looks like the employees affected will get a 6 months pay and a year of medical benefits as part of their severance. But yeah, that's still not something that we want to.
Kind of like Riot Games, right?
I'm not sure about Riot Games. I just heard about Eidos today, but I haven't heard too many details. Eidos is doing massive layoffs as well. I don't have the number in front of me right now because I was running all over the
100.
place. 400?
100,
100.
I think.
Yeah, it was like 30% of the workforce, but I don't know the exact number. And Deus Ex got canceled. Microsoft also canceled a game as part of their layoffs. But I'm gonna
So 97 people. My bad.
97, but it's like 97. Yeah, 97, but it was 30% of the workforce in that studio. And then so I'm gonna bounce this off to bounce it down to Omar first. Omar, what are your thoughts on these layoffs?
Sadly, we called it. And what make it even for me worse is you said overlapping, but when you look the studios that are impacted, it makes you question if it's
Only HR, help desk.
I'm about to say HR. That makes sense for APK.
It was mainly like their overlapping positions. So now that they'll fall under Microsoft HR, whatever, help desk, they'll fall under Microsoft help desk. And what else did they? That was the.
They also said a lot of Call of Duty developers got hit, but also the studios so far I know behind Crash Bandicoot, they also got hit. Almost 30% of them was gone.
Well,
So yeah, this one hurt truly bad. Because what do I say this? The question is genuinely going to be, was this necessary or not?
I mean, I guess you could say that it wasn't necessary because they just hit a 3 trillion market cap, so they're the richest
Yeah,
company in the
exactly.
world, so they can afford to have anyone. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily make business. I think people have to remember at the announcement of the acquisition, they grew from 10,000 to 17,000. So, and a lot of that was just to get the acquisition over the hurdles that it needed to get over and hurry up and get projects out that they needed to get out before the acquisition took place. So before that activation, at the time of acquisition, I think they were at like $67 a share. So happening to begin with, and we saw it with iRobot. They were getting purchased by Amazon. Deal fell through, and immediately they dropped like 300 employees. I think that's maybe where you got the 300 employees from, was from iRobot. Following that, but I'll swing it over to Zero. What are your thoughts on these layoffs?
Not a fan, and even in a little bit, I I'm sure it probably does make some level of business sense. Maybe, I don't think we've yet to confirm that either way. I.e., if there are people boasting about Microsoft is now the wealthiest company in the world, I'm not. I'm not rolling, bro. Like I'm not rolling. Like if I let my inner sort of liberal left side come out, you can keep these people. I seriously doubt they are bad actors. I'm not 100% that a giant company, as large as something like Microsoft, are working in the best interest, even of itself. They're just working in what they might feel the best interest is currently. It will all remains to be seen. I certainly hope those who lost their positions can find new ones, and I understand it's part of the industry, but it doesn't have to be. Like all things just are just because we choose to accept them for what they are. They don't have to be. And there could, maybe it's something better, maybe it's not. Maybe Microsoft is justified. I don't know. But if you're the wealthiest company in the world, I'm going to side eye you every single time. So I won't go any further than that. But like, we'll see, Microsoft. But Lord knows, I hope this doesn't affect your end product. Or you pull something like Sony and then hire a bunch of.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. I mean, they have a ton of employees now. I think still, even after that layoff, the Xbox division has close to, if not over, 20,000 employees. So I mean, we'll definitely have to see. But yeah, I'll let's see. We just got back. What are your thoughts on the layoffs at not only Microsoft but at
Um, actually, it's crazy how many layoffs are actually happening right now. Kind of all over the place. Everybody's trimming fat in areas. Pretty wild. Um, fuck. It sucks. That's that's a like 1,900 people's a fuck ton of people.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
Like that super sucks. It sucks when it happens to anybody, regardless of whether it was 30 people or still pretty trash. And the other reason that number is high is they like flux to like 10K plus employees just now. Like
Yeah. Hold up, gotta bounce real
crazy.
quick.
Massive numbers. I don't think like, and the fact that it just coincides with them finally hitting like a $1 trillion market cap, like it's a bad look all around. It had to happen. It sucks. Honestly, I feel like they should be on the hook for them. A lot of this is because of that overhire during COVID. It's like you're punishing people because you decided to hire. Um,
Man, Twitter, Facebook, all the tech giants, man.
yeah, it's everywhere. Man. They're just bleeding for hire. Crazy. It's gonna continue, which is the worst part. And it's gonna be more than just. It's gonna be more than just tech industry all over the place. Deal with kind of the fallout of that. Like I hope some of the bigger studios aren't affected by things like this. Even said like I hope like Capcom doesn't come out and be like, yeah, we got to drop some people after they had several successful launches last.
Yeah, Capcom's been on a roll with the
Right.
Resident Evil franchise. They've been doing really well, and then
Street
Fighter's
Fighter.
doing pretty well. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're doing really good right now.
Out here getting it. But yeah, like I'd be disappointed if I see them saying that, well, we got to lay off people when they're making it.
But
is Activision Blizzard struggling to lay off so many people?
They brought 10,000 people with them.
They hired a bunch of people just to get the acquisition over the board,
and just to lay them off afterwards.
Yeah, they hired them just for the purpose of getting this acquisition over the table, basically, like just to get the deal across the table.
So in order to buy Activision Blizzard, they had
no, not Microsoft. That's what Activision Blizzard did on their end. Microsoft didn't hire them. They didn't own them yet.
So Activision Blizzard themselves got 10,000 people just to get
7,000. They were at 10,000 before the announcement, before the acquisition got announced. Once the acquisition got announced, in between then and the time that the acquisition was completed, they hired 7,000 employees additional. So
that's crazy.
Which is very abnormal. Nobody doubles their workforce. And that's not normal. But I think we also have to remember, I mean, they are like, I'm sure Microsoft they talked about, but still, it was Activision doing it But I think people wanted are a part of changing the culture as well. Getting rid of leadership, getting rid of bad actors or whatever. They all fit into that 1900 as well. I'm sure there's not 1900 bad apples, of course, but I'm sure maybe like 100.
They got rid of all the leadership.
Yeah, leadership plus bad apples. It's like if you had an HR complaint,
no ifs, ands, or buts, zero tolerance, you're fired.
Yeah, because they don't want
6 month package.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that happened because, they just had to, like, as part of acquiring Activision, they had to settle those lawsuits with the state of California and whatever other.
Microsoft had to pay that shit. God,
yeah,
they
had to settle that. Yeah, so it's somebody, so they know exactly who you are, being that they had to settle those lawsuits. You were part of the leadership that allowed these issues to perpetuate through the company. You gotta go. I'm sure that's part of it too.
Layoffs. I'm really not a fan of layoffs because these are people's livelihoods. I was when I heard about the layoffs, I thought about, like, I understand that Activision Blizzard had terrible culture, especially with that Bill Cosby room, which was, I don't know, that was a terrible joke.
It wasn't a joke. It was predatory.
Yeah, well, it is predatory, but they did it as a joke and matter, which was awful.
Yeah.
So I kind of, like I said, like the tech industry, like I've been part of the tech industry, as you guys know, I'm an IT person in my real life. Luckily, because of the position I play in, I don't worry too much about the layoff parts, but I have had friends and family members that are in the tech industry, and during the pandemic, yes, they hired a lot of help desk, HR stuff, all these other different positions. And honestly, when the pandemic ended and companies were losing money, they realized that the companies will run without them.
Yeah, once that PPP money stopped.
Yeah, like not just the PPP money, but like you don't, like, the working from home. Like, why am I paying this person $90,000 a year as some manager position when honestly I could just keep the one I already had, and all my engineers are already still here. So
yeah,
it's I could see like tech industries laying off people. I mean, it's weird how now that Microsoft is the biggest company in the world, I mean, it doesn't surprise me. They still, besides outside of gaming, they got Windows 10, Windows 11, they're part of the government contracts, so servers that run on Windows, you have Azure, you have all this stuff. So Microsoft is fine. I don't think they really needed to lay it off. They just probably chose to. Because
Xbox has to be profitable on its own.
Yes, it does. That's what I was thinking.
So
it can't roll.
No matter that Microsoft can afford it. Can Xbox afford it?
I mean, hey, I can't even say nothing because Twitch can't even get money from Amazon anymore. So
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you still gotta be profitable. So it's like, yeah, how much overhead can if Microsoft can, if Xbox can lay off 1,900 people and still like maintain a 20,000 plus workforce and still be profitable, that's pretty good for a platform holder, because I don't think many other platform holders have that many developers.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like, again, like I've seen this in the tech industry as soon as the pandemic end. I guess some culture change and everything else, like Microsoft was just cutting off the fat because they realized they didn't need it, which is very unfortunate. I really do hope a lot of the people get jobs. As far as this new woman, I don't know much about her. I just know that she was part of the Call of Duty division, and the last Call of Duty I played was Modern Warfare 2 because everyone was saying it was such a good game and it was a breath of fresh air. Warfare 3 everyone hates and saying that is paid that's a DLC. They try to make it to a full game, or charging for as a full game. So I don't know how much she plays in that part. I don't know. I gotta see. I also gotta see her work. I do not know her resume very well, so I don't know what she did, what she lead, what big decisions she has done. I know she worked with Call of Duty, and Call of Duty is successful, but
Yeah, I mean, I know that we talked about it in the chat, that we figured that. I mean, I had a strong intuition that after everything that took place, that it would most likely be a a woman CEO that got appointed at Activision. Just unfortunately,
just for that cleanup.
Yeah, for
that cleanup.
Yeah, I mean that's the fastest way to change the culture. To show that you care about women is making a woman. I'm not saying she's not qualified. I'm sure she is very qualified, but she's probably the most qualified of the women that they chose from. Not saying that a man
I ain't mad
deserves
at
the job
it.
either. Like I don't want y'all to get that confused. But
I ain't mad at it. I mean, it's video games. I mean, if she can make a good decision with video games and lead Activision Blizzard to victory and make some goddamn changes to Diablo and Overwatch, for the love of God.
I think she's just gonna be in charge of culture. I think Matt Booty is just gonna be all over the place.
Oh, she's gonna be in charge of culture. Okay, well, if that's a culture, then she can't fuck up.
I think she's gonna manage the workforce, and I think if you look at the new leadership structure, Matt Booty's in charge of everything first party development, and as of right now, Activision Blizzard doesn't make a lot of games, so I think it's kind of easy for him to keep an eye on that. Like they got a bunch of live services that they manage and they do expansion packs and stuff for, but they're not really in this new IP creation mode at the moment. Prior to acquisition, they weren't there yet. So I think Matt Booty is just gonna kind of manage the game part for now. I think she's gonna clean up the culture at Activision, and he's gonna focus on the game. That would be my assumption.
Hey, well, if she's cleaning up the culture, then I honestly can't see. You can't go any further down than what Activision Blizzard's recent or previous management did. So,
yeah.
Like I said, good luck to you. Hopefully, you change the workforce to make it a positive environment. That Bill Cosby room gets changed into like a relaxation room or something, just
burn it down.
Just burn the building down to the ground. That's a lot of money.
Just burn the room down. Just like burn everything in the room and like remodel it.
Okay, bleach. Let's just bleach. I'll sell with bleach.
Fire.
Just kill it with fire.
Acid.
Okay, he said acid. Well, it can't melt steel beam, so okay.
But yeah, I think this wave of layoffs to me isn't the most concerning. I think if there's another wave of layoffs, I think that will be concerning, considering Microsoft's investment into open AI and they're trying to integrate that into video games.
Oh god, AI race.
Yeah. So I think that would be the bigger concern if Microsoft's like, hey, we can supplement the entire QA division with AI. Something like that.
I mean, there is now talk about supplementing developers with contractors. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh god, that's nothing new. That's what happened to Kojima with Metal Gear Solid.
I mean,
got turned to a contractor.
I am not against. I'm not fully against. It's just a matter of how you do it. But
I have a question. Is this not what happened with Halo? Yeah.
No.
343.
So what happened with Halo? It's something similar. So Bungie did own Halo, but somehow Microsoft they kind of like did a deal and they sold it. They kind of sold it to Microsoft.
Well, they owned Bungie, so they let Bungie go, but they kept the
Bungie.
IP.
I'm talking about 343 themselves.
343 just had a leadership change, and they let contractors go. I mean, but once your contract's up, your contract's up.
Yeah, same way with the government.
And then they replaced those contractors by working with Creative Assembly. Creative Assembly is like the partner studio that works on Halo now. So they basically replaced those contracts. Like, your contract's up, we're gonna bring in Creative Assembly now to help us with Halo. That's kind of what happened there. But yeah, with the whole AI thing, I think that would probably be like the most concerning. Like, if you started seeing AI,
they already got it in mobile games.
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
not looking good.
And I was saying, I'm not 100% against AI because, I mean, we saw from the Insomniac leaks and just other things that we know about the gaming industry, AAA costs are going through the roof. If you can somehow use AI to save $100 million in the process of developing a game, and it allows, you know, AAA games to keep coming out, and, you know, maybe even, you know, more games to be made. I'm not necessarily against it. I'm against it if it, you know, significantly reduces the workforce, of course. But if it's used properly and allows them to make games at a reduced cost and even make more games, I am for it in that sense. But yeah, we got everyone's thoughts. So with that being said, we can jump on to our next topic. And that would be, hold on one second. I'll put this timestamp down for you guys who come back and watch the show. Topic number 2 of the day would be basically Suicide Squad is releasing at midnight. I know a couple people have had access to the game through early access. When people launched the game, they got the achievement for completing the game. When they launched into the live service, so they were pretty much able to see the ending from the beginning. So like the ending's already circulating on the internet if you want to see it. I would encourage you not to do that, but that was the
apparently the ending is super insulting.
I don't know that story arc, and it's already written out in the comics, and that's the one they chose to run with. Like,
I think I'll probably I'll wait for the game to go on sale.
Like they didn't do anything that didn't already take place in the comics. They chose a storyline from the comics. Like,
not gonna lie, I'm surprised that the game have an ending to begin with.
Like, because like WB has no problem going there with when they do their animated movies and their animated TV shows. Like, so
how bloody it gets.
Yeah, like no one would have complained because it stays true to the story. It's the worst one. The Batman, the Killing Joke, that's probably the worst one. You know, that they did. As far as the outrage, but not as much as this Suicide Squad game is getting. The main reason we're talking about Suicide Squad is not because of this snafu they had decided to revoke distribution of its review codes to the review websites, and it's caused a lot of outrage today, as a lot of, you know, top publications like IGN has came out and said that we're not getting a review code. We're gonna have to wait until the game launches in order to give you a review. Me personally, I don't really have a huge issue with that because I don't think that a review should be rushed just to meet the release date, as we've already talked about in the past. So if their this will be fine, but like so I don't really have a problem with it, but I'm going to bounce this around to the panel. Zero, what are your thoughts on WB's decision not to push out review codes for this game?
I definitely think it's a little concerning. I think I agree with you. Like, no one is owed review codes.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, like, it is just an industry standard, and it's good. It's just so much surrounding this game. From it that it was a broken down Superman, Batman universe, to the Kevin Conroy of it all. And so it seems like it's made them a little bit uncomfortable with getting anything out early, because the reviews could absolutely sort of destroy this game. Thus, nobody's buying it, and people will feel justified based on, like, I already knew it because they shouldn't have did X, Y, and Z with Kevin Conroy, or they shouldn't have used Rockstar Batman, or it should have been the Superman game that was supposed to be. So it feels like everybody's looking for a reason not to like this game.
Yeah.
So maybe a preemptive blow to avoid any of that is to just say, hey, man, reviews will come out when everybody gets to play it. Just play it on your own, form your own judgment, then do what you got to do. It's a strategy. but usually it seems to be a strategy. When
you think it's a lack of confidence in the game, or do you think that because from my perspective, it had an open beta, right? A couple months ago. So I don't think me personally, I don't think it's a lack of confidence. But I would say, do you think it's a little bit of the articles that were harshly judging the game when it was a beta? Going dot by dot about, we played the game and we didn't like these aspects within the game. It just, having a headline right there, we played Suicide Squad, we don't like it. Like,
I absolutely agree with you on that.
Do you think that played more of a factor than them correct issues?
I'll go 60-40. So 60 being like a lot of it is the sort of odd, harsh, very harsh feedback to the game. Perhaps they didn't like it, but I'll admit there's been a lot of games historically that Gollum never got. We played Gollum. We didn't like it.
King Kong game came out.
King Kong, that's what it is. Like King Kong didn't come out with the title headline being we played King Kong, we didn't like it. It was a little off-putting to see, and I think largely because the hype of the game that was being built around it. So yes, 60% of it is probably like if we let these articles run wild and these reviewers run wild before people get their hands on it, nobody's gonna pick up our game. So your choice is now to either wait or buy the game and play it for yourself, which quite frankly isn't that what we always tend to tell people anyway. Either wait for whatever favorite reviewer that you follow to say something, or just buy the game and figure it out yourself.
Or
worst case scenario,
watch a streamer play
send it back. Watch your favorite streamer, like whoever you want to do it with.
Yeah.
With still that 40% being like, if they've it's possible they could be like, it doesn't matter what IGN says, this game's a goddamn banger. And we don't, we're doing whatever we take the review codes. It's all good. I think that 60% made them a little shaky on the 40, or whoever it was. It might not even be like the development team as it is. Just the powers that be at WB are saying, well, maybe we pull back, do this instead, and see where the cards may lay. I'd say this as a person who's more than likely going to get this game. Nothing about it that I've seen so far has turned me off to it.
Yeah, I mean, all right, so from the open beta, there was an NDA period where no one was supposed to talk about the game. But once they lifted the NDA, most people that played the game had a lot good to say about it.
I agree.
So I just won't take a turn. I'll just kind of interject, I guess, here. I think that WB sees that I don't think right now in the gaming industry there's a standard of journalistic integrity, and I think there is a little bit of tribalism within games media, and they'll pile on one way or the other. And I feel like Suicide Squad was on that fence where they were more so piling towards the negative side. So they saw that and said, you know what, we'll release a game, everyone will play it at the same time. And everyone will come to their own judgments as opposed to groupthink guiding these review scores.
The odd part is I've been following this for a while, just why this game does seem to be like targeted in a way that I'm not sure why. And I don't know if it's just because
it's been so much media backlash on this game before it ever even came out. It's crazy. Like even like when Omar posted like the fake screen of the HUD while you're playing, like someone made a fake HUD and everyone was going crazy about that. Doctoring an image of like a fake HUD, like making you think you would have to play with the screen looking like that the entire time.
No, the HUD was actually like that.
No, it's not like that the entire time. That's not like that's not the gameplay.
No one said that all the time.
I mean, there's other gameplay clips out there, and the HUD is nothing like that.
Yeah, you can literally customize the HUD however you want.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. That's what I mean. It's a doctored image. They embellished it and made you think that's how that was going to be your experience playing the game. I mean, it's not your fault, but I'm just saying that's what they did. Like you shared the image in the group chat. It's not like you like showed it on.
It seemed odd because, like, if you look, like, that level of HUD, I guess, like information overload is probably for very specific things. Like, I imagine that Grand Blue Relink will probably. So, and my only assumption is that it is the combination of there's this small everybody seems to love, so they don't feel it's a proper send off to this universe. Because that's the only conversation I keep hearing about this is like, why did they have to put it in this universe? Why is it this Batman? Why is it this Poison Ivy? Why is it these characters instead of just putting? I guess it just seems like a natural conclusion to what it's going to be. I don't know how the story ends, so I can't speak to that. But I don't know. I get that the Rockstar games are fantastic. Seems to be judged a bit harsher than I'm used to.
Do you think that part of it?
I have a question. Wasn't what's that game?
Gotham Knights.
No. The one from Square Enix.
What from Square Enix?
You talking about Babylon's Fall or something?
No. It's in. It was in game like Suicide Squad. What comes to
You're talking about Outriders or Avengers or
no. It's a superhero game.
Avengers or Outriders?
Yeah. Avengers. Avengers literally got the same treatment.
No, Avengers. Avengers shot themselves in the foot. No, everyone was giving Avengers. Everyone gave Avengers a shot.
Everyone gave Avengers a shot until it was terrible.
Yeah, everyone gave it a shot.
No. Even before people touched their controllers with Avengers, the comment about the visual was off the chart.
Yeah, people complained about the visuals of the character models. Character models got complained about, and then after the character models got complained about, but the actual game, no one really complained about it. And the first real complaint about like the game aspect was when people found out that Spider-Man was exclusive to PlayStation. That was like the first, and that was like a couple weeks before the game came out. And then the DLC didn't come out till like 3 years later anyway.
But with this game, it's literally gameplay comment. Should they not comment about that?
Well, what I would say though is if we're basing off the Avengers thing, that exact same thing happened to Guardians of the Galaxy, and people held off to it, and so they started playing it and realized how good it was.
Yeah.
So, if we're gonna, let's call a spade here. The argument is, should we not be prejudging a game before we get to play it?
Precisely. That's my entire point.
Well, I mean, like I said, from people who played the beta, I didn't play the open beta, but from people who played the beta, most of the comments from the community who played the beta was positive, whereas most of the comments from the media were negative. It was like very much a contrast from what I saw.
So clearly, there's a disconnect here.
So,
absolutely, and again,
and if let's say the game is quote unquote that good as the people that played it said, then it's gonna be shown in sales and also in replayability. Well, not the playability, but player count and stuff like that.
There's been a couple games recently that didn't review well, but people got their hands on it and they realized it was a really good game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, and I'm, I guess the only thing you brought it up earlier, Pharaoh, it's like, it's just odd that IGN's head title was "We played it and we didn't like it," and that's not to say it's a bad game. That's just to say that whoever reviewed it at IGN didn't like it. But people are kind of running with that as if that's the gospel that this game will be bad.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, though. They run with reviews if it's good or if it's bad.
Yeah. So
they run with reviews as always, because that's their only way to do things. And here's the thing. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of, but speaking about Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, it's also not getting review copies.
I think it's smart to do that. Because as like I already said it, as of right now, there is a lack of journalistic integrity as it comes to gaming in my eyes, especially when it comes to reviews. They're so subjective. They're like, at this point, with this many media platforms that do reviews, and the fact that they have meta scores now where everyone has to come together, like there's no way that some people should be on a 10-point scale, people should be on a 5-point scale, and like there's not like a standardized review process that the media abide. There isn't, and that's a problem. So being that problem exists, you know, if and you're already leaning.
But if the person really truly didn't enjoy the game, is it his fault that should he not review the game then?
No, it's not a problem that he didn't like the game. The problem is that you put that headline out there so that people who don't even take time to read the article gain a perception headline. That's the problem.
But the same can be said with IGN being targeted. Remember, I don't know if you guys seen the video of Justin talking about the boss fight against the Flag. How he is too fast. People complained and called IGN that they suck at gaming, despite the fact that wasn't even.
But that's different. Like they're being heckled at by fanboys, not members of their industry.
I will say IGN that Cuphead tutorial for IGN was brutal.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That man did not know how to do a double jump and dash.
That's absolutely atrocious.
His Doom trailer was horrible. My man, you don't even have to aim with Doom. You just move and shoot.
Same with whatchamacallit, Days Gone. Like, he insinuated that the game being rated only to find out that the reason why they're white is literally because of the virus that was causing it to become white. And again, games are gonna get scrutinized, sadly, because of because of reviewers. It's all about, do we give reviewers power? If so, then we should be equal. What I mean by that, I believe, and that's my opinion, there should be almost like not law, but like a mandatory. If you want, if a game, if you don't give review copies on time, your review shouldn't count in Metacritic.
I mean,
if you do that, that's gonna incite. I mean that.
So when the gaming
of the developer to actually then give review copy, even if it's gonna impact them negatively, because nobody wants to miss out when it comes to Metacritic. Nobody.
But yeah, when the gaming industry was much smaller and it was just like a couple publications, you weren't allowed just to give a game just some random score and write an article. Like I'm sure Zero remembers, but if you had like a copy of Game Informer and the reviews were in Game Informer, it wasn't just the overall score is a 8.5 or a 9. Like it was like the sound gets this, the gameplay gets this, the art gets this score. Like they have of the game, and I think that's kind of what the industry should kind of go back to.
I think the industry should go back to transparency, which they lack right now.
But that's how you get transparent, when you actually review score, and then just giving your opinion on the game without ever touching the sound, controls, or anything. Like, because like I'm telling you, if you go look up an old publication from the 90s, like go look up Final Fantasy VII original review or something like that, an old game, like they go point by point, like gameplay, audio, all that. And then they give and then they give an overall score after all of that.
I like your idea.
But yeah, going this route of not giving out the review codes.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. At the beginning of 2023, I came up with my rule of I'm only buying 3 games at a time. And at the beginning of the year, one of those new games was Gotham Knights. And I played that on hard difficulty. And honestly, I kind of was like, meh. With that being said, I understand why IGN is doing what they did, but based off of what they showed off in their own trailers with reused assets from Gotham Knights, why the hell does what's his name with the boomerang and Nightwing have the same fucking animation for the spirit for when they were doing the breakdancing move?
They're not expecting you to have both copies. They're not expecting you to play Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
No. But see, I play Gotham Knights.
Yeah, I'm saying that's why they do
reuse assets and reuse animations. I saw the skill tree system that was reused from Gotham Knights, just in a different way. Now just because it's reused couldn't mean better. You already burned me with fucking Gotham Knights.
Well, Gotham Knights had a bunch of issues outside of that.
That too. I mean, the performance issue was an issue. Like, I don't know. It's just like overall, like this isn't even about like what articles. For me personally, like it's not even about what articles are saying. It's more so about my personal review with Gotham Knights and seeing similarities between Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad.
PTSD a little bit.
That makes me not want to get Suicide Squad.
Did you play the beta or alpha?
No, I didn't play the beta or anything. I literally, so far, like, as far as trying to grab me as someone who played Gotham Knights, and when I was watching the previews and I was able to identify, like, why, like, I was like, wait, why is the guy with the boomerang doing breakdance windmill, like Nightwing's breakdancing windmill that he does, and it's literally like dancing, like, whatever, attack balls around Nightwing. It's the same thing with the boomerang guy. Now, like a system tree, I'm like, that system tree looks very familiar. Is that Gotham Knight system tree? Level up tree? That's what I was doing. I was like,
Go ahead.
It makes me feel, honestly, it kind of rubs me wrong. It's because it's kind of like I didn't like Gotham Knights, and if you're using the same stuff from Gotham Knights in here, I'm probably not going to like it. Now, it could be wrong. Like, say, for example, you guys talked about earlier with the Avengers game, and then there was the Guardians of the Galaxy. Exact same game engine, exact same reused AI, UI, and everything. But the Guardians of the Galaxy was actually a pretty decent game. But with that being said, though, I don't feel very confident. And plus, I mean, it kind of seems like everyone's targeting saying this is a bad game. I mean, the gameplay did look generic to me. It seems like you get a light weapon and a heavy weapon, and you just go around and start shooting things like crazy, and then you have your special moves. That's what I will say, like the reuse assets and everything, it has me hesitant. And I do believe, like, I wasn't the only one who actually caught on to like some of the reuse stuff and Suicide Squad, because other people who play Gotham Knights were like, yeah. Also with the city being like completely dead, makes me think like, damn, they couldn't have put a live. I understand there's somewhat of apocalyptical city, but they could have put somebody in there. Yeah. It may seem like everybody's dead in the world. It's kind of like I'm waiting. I want to see what people say. I want to see what people respond to. I want the general public. I understand why they want to do that, because if they were to give out constant review codes and people were saying how much you dislike the game, nobody's gonna be willing to buy it. I was already on the fence with them because of Gotham Knights.
Yeah,
if I got review copies, I mean, look, man, I stuck to my rule though. 3 games at a time, and 2023 I actually saved a lot of money. I still haven't played Hogwarts Legacy yet, surprisingly, but
yeah, I'll be warning y'all. Everybody don't deserve your day $1.
Yeah. But I understand why, because I was already on the fence and already was like had a bad taste in my mouth because of Gotham Knights and with Suicide. And when I see Suicide Squad, the reuse asset, that kind of already deterred me from getting the game. Just seeing more stuff of like companies even saying the game is not that great is even more of a deterrent for me to get the game. So I can understand why they don't want to give out review copies, and maybe they should probably be more honest reviews. But at the same time, like, it takes a lot for a company to say that your game sucks.
Not today, because like Atomic Heart, that game, everyone loves it. Got a horrible score.
The game dropped real quick. I'm about to say, like, it was good at the beginning. It had a good concept. It didn't stick the landing that well. I would say it was pretty average.
Most stories don't stick the ending. I'll say that.
All people saw at the beginning was there was like this robot that was seeing sexual things to you, and they had these sexy looking female tentacles inside of you.
But yeah, I mean, I'll say whether it's video games or any other form of media, very hard to stick the landing at the end for a lot of these companies nowadays.
I mean, I get what you're trying to do. I just want to let you know you already burned me with Gotham Knights. I wasn't going to get you day one. I wasn't going to get the game day one anyway. I saw.
Now, moving on to the great Jubei. What are your thoughts on WB deciding to withhold these review codes? This great intro to talk about this damn topic, and he's nowhere to be found. You know what?
Well,
fuck Jubei.
Just damn.
All right, so he decided going on. We will move on to our final topic of today now, being that Jubei is out. 1 second, let me put this timestamp down. All right, final topic of today. I think this is their last state of play since, what was it, August? They had a state of play. Was that the last one since then? Like August or September, where they did the baby steps and a couple other games. Helldivers, like they showed Helldivers. At the last state of play, it was baby steps, Helldivers, and a couple other games I can't think of. Yeah, it's been quite a while since their last state of play. It was the fall, at least I know that much. But yeah, I'm gonna throw it to our biggest PlayStation fan. What are your thoughts on the state of play coming up this I think it's Wednesday.
Yeah, Rise of Ronin, and I'm pretty sure. So
in February, so
also Kojima retweeted it, so expect something Death Stranding related. I can only assume.
That'd be good.
Other than that, so I'm gonna go now. Rumors wise, state of play was leaked, and the person that leaked it named a few games, including ones that a lot of people are excited about. I'm curious if it's gonna be there or not.
Okay.
Issue is PlayStation on planning. What I mean by that is they're releasing Rise of the Ronin in the same day with the PC release date for
They must be confident in their product. I mean, I'm sure they already have like
stupidity. Like that's genuinely stupidity. Because Dragon Dogma and whatchamacallit, Rise of the Ronin are both games that people want to play, but to be choosing between the two, it's just gonna be insane. I don't think that's a clever move out of them. Absolutely not.
I don't think Forbidden West will hurt them. I do think the audiences are a little bit different. There's some overlap, but I do think they
everyone
have
that I've seen that wanted Dragon Dogma wants also Rise of Ronin, including myself. This is why I'm so conflicted.
But you gotta remember, like everyone you see is part of this like niche hardcore community versus
I'm aware.
So our views are not the same as the general public.
Going back to it, I'm super excited about it. Also, if you're a VR fan, they already confirmed that VR is gonna be there as well. So clearly they wanna go all out at the beginning of the year. And I'm curious if we're gonna see release date for Celebrate. We already got the release date for Rise of the Ronin, so all we need is a release date for Celebrate and we're golden.
I would think you would get Stellar Blade's release window if at minimum.
Nah.
Because
it's
at
going
minimum,
to be a date.
I mean, I know you want a date, but I'm saying I think you'll get the window at minimum. Like if it's coming out in the fall, they may not give you a hard date. If it's coming out in the summer, they might say, June 30th or something like that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if it's coming out in the spring or the summer, you might get a hard date. But if it's coming out in the fall or the winter, they might just say the season that it's releasing in.
I see. But yeah, that's about it out of me.
Okay. Let's go with Zero. Zero, what are you thinking about this state of play as a all console holder now?
I think we got PlayStation in January. I think there are rumors about something from Nintendo in February. I'm sure Xbox is right around the corner.
Well, I think state of play is February 1st. I think Wednesday is February 1st, right?
Oh, you might be right. So February, and then whenever Xbox drops their thing. Although Nintendo's still a rumor too. So I'm looking forward to it. Stellar Blade. I definitely always wanted to see more about that. What's that game that we saw maybe once? Is it Pragmata?
I don't think we're gonna
Weird
see.
Astronaut.
I don't think we're
Girl.
gonna see that game.
Yeah, like that.
It's
seemed
been a
to just fall
long.
off the
Like, we
cliff.
haven't seen that since like two showcases ago.
No,
Yeah, it's been a
no.
minute.
Actually, Pragmata was actually showcased last year. I mean, at an Xbox Capcom showcase. They showed a snippet and they showed actual gameplay of it.
Yeah, I was just talking about on the
I
PlayStation
forgot
stage.
it's on the PlayStation stage.
On
'Cause
PlayStation
I don't know if
stage?
it's
It's
yeah,
been like-
they
it's-
haven't
not
showed
yet.
it.
Yeah, it's been a
Because
while.
that's where we
Almost
first saw it,
feels-
right? Like it was on the PlayStation stage when we first saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
almost feels like they wanted to reveal it on PlayStation and then take it over with their own showcase.
Yeah.
Because
I mean that would be interesting. So like I'm hoping. Did they say how many games we're supposed to have, or at least like anticipate?
15, I think. I'm
Not
not sure,
bad.
but we know
If there's
that
15, there's
45
definitely
minutes.
gonna be a sizzle reel in there.
Yeah. I'm still seeing a couple of smaller titles. Definitely, probably a little bit of DLCs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can hype
so-
up that Final Fantasy 16 DLC that's supposed to drop in April.
16. I'm 7 Rebirth counts as one.
And I think-
and I'm
I think you get that Rebirth demo also.
Yeah, you get the demo, you get Stellar Blade, you get Rise of the Ronin. Like almost say maybe something with Death Stranding. I mean, it'd be awesome with a new Astro Boy. I'm trying to consider what's new that we haven't seen. Now I know this is just a state of play, so it might not be big, but I wouldn't mind 1 or 2, 3, 4. I'll go 4. Give me 4 new things that we didn't know was coming, or that we haven't seen before. Like this also showed up at. I think this showed up at the PlayStation show too. It's not Little Nightmares.
Are you talking about the little sand people, the little sandbag people?
No, it's like a game where like the trailer was like one
Little
half is a
Devil-
night.
Little Devil Inside?
Is that it? Little Devil Inside?
The one with the dude that runs and we haven't heard of this game from when it was announced.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
That's it. That's the only game that I can think that would rival Little Nightmares.
Hold on.
Yes, it's Little Devil Inside. Yeah, I'm looking up. Like where
Yeah.
I think the last time we saw that, I'm just looking at State of Play 2021.
Yeah, this is the only game that seems to be in either development hell or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as always with literally at this point, anybody's State of Play is sure would like to see Hollow Knight, Silk Song, but otherwise, I know I'm looking forward to it, man. It seems to be a good idea. Maybe they do something interesting with the PS5. I'm sure they'll show off those colors and the new panels.
Oh, maybe it'll be in the Pro?
I feel like they wait for the Pro, right? Like it feels just a little early.
It is early for the Pro. I mean, plus, if they do come out with a Pro, I don't know. It's only I don't see but so much of an upgrade they can do with the current system and the current technologies that are out there.
Like a Pro would be a good spring announcement, summer, maybe fall release. And where you capture some of the holiday season. But otherwise, that's it, man. Like I just hope I like the format of Xbox's last show. It was sort of like quick getting to it. And to be fair, Sony is pretty good at that anyway. So I look forward to 40 minutes of what Sony got to show.
Okay. Nappy, master of the PC race. What are your thoughts on this state of play that is upcoming?
It's gonna be nice to see all the games. I gotta wait a year after release date to play, so that's
Well,
nice.
you might see Forbidden West. That's coming out next month.
Forbidden West, yeah, they already got a pre-order for Steam. You can actually pre-order the whole thing. You get all the DLC. So Forbidden West is coming. I'm pretty sure that because of Forbidden West, next thing we're gonna see is the God of War Ragnarok on the PC. Then after that, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, all right, and then after that, Final Fantasy remake,
Rebirth. Will probably come a year
Rebirth.
later.
Yeah. So like, I'm already anticipating the games coming later. I mean, they do sometimes announce some third-party games first. The Sony PlayStation event, state of play that also comes out on PC on day one. So I'm going to be curious about the third-party titles.
Well, Helldivers is the first party that comes out next week.
Hellblade.
Well,
Helldivers.
No, I'm gonna say Helldivers is Helldivers. Is that first party? I thought it was third because it's like it started off on PC.
They own the IP, so it's first party. They just had someone else make it.
They own the IP, but
they own Helldivers, but they have
I'm gonna say the original Helldivers was on PC as a top-down shooter. Like you could play with your friends, a local co-op.
I'm just telling you, they own the IP, man. I don't make the rules. I don't.
So they bought that? They must have. Did they bought the IP? If they bought the IP, then I'll be like, damn.
Yeah, I guess they bought it.
Well, they better. You better not take away from PC. It started on PC.
No, it's day one on PC. That's what I'm saying. You can play it next week. This week. It comes out Friday. It comes out on the 2nd or the 3rd.
Damn, I gotta go Snow too, man. I'm about to cancel this.
Well, no day one no Nappy, no day one purchases. Remember, we talked about this. You got to make sure the game is good before you buy it. You don't know nothing about them people.
You have been snow tubing before. You know that's fun.
Yeah. Sorry, Chantel. Yeah. Actually, what I'm really curious about is I noticed that while we were on our Christmas break, New Year break, with the Insomniac's leaks, and there was actually the source code for Wolverine that was going around Twitter, and some people actually downloaded it and tried it. And Insomniac was saying that they're going to have to possibly remake the whole game from scratch because of that. I'm curious if there's going to be any talks of Wolverine at just state of play.
Doubt it.
Because, yeah, that Insomniac leak had possibly set that game back a good 3 to 4 years because now they got to start from scratch.
Nah, I don't think Disney going to play that. They want that game out.
Wait, is it confirmed that they start from scratch?
Well, it's not confirmed, but they said, but the source code was out on Twitter, and people were able to download it and play it on the really extremely early. And I mean, when I say early, I mean they still got like pre-made assets that filler assets in just to fill up blocks. Like you still see blocks and circles. It was
you got
it was crazy. If Sonic went on crazy damage control to make sure the media didn't see it, like if you posted it, you were going to get that cease and desist letter automatically. Even for sharing it, you'll get that cease and desist
people
letter.
are actively modding the game as we speak and are like building the game up.
Yeah, so that's why Insomniac, they said that they group that because of how much damage that hack done, they may have to rebuild Wolverine from scratch, which sucks for PlayStation people, which means you guys got to wait even longer for Wolverine to come out.
Well, they got all the characters made for the most part.
They did. Yeah, we weren't just. If you do see some Wolverine something, do not, for the love of God, do not share it. Okay, I mean, and honestly, it honestly it hurts the PlayStation people in the end of the day. But that was the biggest thing. I'm curious to see if Wolverine is going to show up at the state of play, or if they really went through with the whole we got to scrap the whole thing and start from scratch because our code got leaked.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so that's all my thoughts.
Okay, I'm gonna try this again. Let's swing it over to Jube. What are your thoughts on state of play?
Oh,
we got him.
It's better than the last one.
Hey, he's alive.
Yep. I had to daddy duty stuff, but we good.
Yeah, we understand.
Yeah. So hopefully it's better than the last one. I was to say I was underwhelmed.
No, underwhelmed. You're dying for baby steps. Get out of here.
Absolutely not, bro. I laugh. That was a joke. But I'm kind of just curious what they're gonna show. They can't possibly have less first party than they had last year, right?
Well, it's a state. It's a state of play. Like this is like people gotta keep it realistic. Like state of play is a marketing show for games that are coming out in the near future. It's not like a showcase where they project, like a year, 2 years out.
Yeah, this is
Sometimes.
not a roadmap. Like
Yeah.
lots of IPs
The
gonna
only
be
thing you're
shown.
gonna see
Celebrate.
first party is Helldivers because that releases this week, and probably Rise of the Ronin. That's probably all you're gonna see.
And hopefully some Stellar Yam. We'll see.
That ain't first party.
I know it ain't first party, but it's exclusive though.
Yeah.
I don't really have an issue with their format. Just haven't liked the content they've shown. I haven't been interested in it. I'm definitely not interested in any of the VR stuff. So I feel like half of this show is about.
Oh, you might see Concord. Concord's supposed to come out this year, I think, right?
Maybe.
I mean, all we saw was a jiggling cheeseburger at the showcase. Maybe they could actually show us
a jiggling cheeseburger.
Hey, that's what I remember. A juggling cheeseburger on a spaceship. Go ahead, watch the trailer again. You will see it. I promise.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Maybe
we didn't see it.
So maybe I mean, I don't know when Fair Play is supposed to come out or Fair Games, whatever that one's called. I mean, those are probably in Marathon.
Apparently, is that 2026? Either that or Marathon.
Yeah, Marathon. But I think those are games you save for a showcase. I don't think you show them at your State of Play. State of Play is like a near-term marketing event, not like a big show. So I wouldn't expect. Like I said, the only thing I really expect is Helldivers and Rise of the Ronin. And I think Rise of the Ronin is a sneaky game of the year candidate. I really do. Like the gameplay elements that I saw and the setting. It looks like it has that type of potential for sure.
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I'll agree with that. It does. That is the one of the
that and Stellar Jam.
Nah, Stellar Blade will not be in the game of year contention. It might sell well. It may sell well, but it's not going to be. I mean, you on right now? I say Rise of the Roman could be in there. We already know Rebirth's going to be in there. And then Power World might make it. Wait, it's going, but it's an early access. So
it's an early access. So that's the only reason that memory leaks first. That's the servers.
That's the only reason that it won't. But they are selling it, so I mean, I don't know. I don't know how it goes when you're selling.
Does PlayStation do early access? I have never heard PlayStation do early access.
Yeah, they do. They have some early access games.
Yeah, and also not Kojima. Yoshida is trying to get it on PlayStation.
Yeah,
I mean, I would love a reverse of fortunes that, like, so very clearly that Street Fighter 6 was snubbed last year, that they put Tekken 8 in the contender spot.
I think Tekken could make it. It
got. Tekken. It's Tekken.
It has a 90 meta.
Tekken.
Has a 90 meta.
This year there are too many games to be put in GOTY spot.
Too many. I think it's hard to say it's too many as of right now.
No. We already know so many games that's coming out this year alone.
Yeah, but they still got to land. I mean, I think Final Fantasy Rebirth is a lock just because of the nostalgia behind it, and I think Rise of the Ronin has potential. But after that, like Hellblade 2 has to land.
Has to.
Yeah, it has to land to make it.
I hope so.
What
I hope it's crossplay between PlayStation and PC. That'd be cool.
I know Avowed has to land if it's gonna make it. Like it has to be one of those. It has to be a big game. I'm trying to think what else is coming out this year.
We still don't know what Nintendo's doing.
Yeah, Nintendo. We're anticipating a Switch 2, and
I really hope they give a Switch 2.
I bet we get a Mario game in Switch 2.
Yeah, so if we get a Mario game, that's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's gonna be in there. I mean, and they typically only do 5 games. So Usually it's
especially if Metroid drops this year.
Yeah, it's typically normally you get one from each platform holder and then 2 third parties. That's typically the format. So it will be Square and something else as the other game, and it'll be interesting to see. But I think
Persona 3.
I don't think Persona 3 is going to do that because it's basically a 1-for-1 remake that's been upscaled.
No.
I'm about to say, didn't that start off on the Vita?
Yeah, it started off on the Vita. It's like a Final Fantasy VII Crisis Reunion.
Oh, that Final Fantasy, yeah.
It's like that because that was a Vita game.
We could get Metaphor.
Yeah, is Metaphor coming out this year though? I think if Metaphor comes out,
Metaphor is this year.
Oh man, that game might be game of the year. That really might that might be game of the year.
Can do it.
Now, if there's a RPG that's gonna take game of the year, that might be the one.
Nah, between that there is also Yakuza Asian.
I don't see that. I don't see Yakuza doing it. I don't see it. But
and there's Metaphor, and there is
has a Yakuza game ever been nominated for game of the year?
Quite frankly, Infinite Wealth Infinite Wealth probably it wasn't going to get I'm not Infinite Wealth. Yakuza 8, Like a Dragon. I just think had too much competition.
Yeah, but I don't think a Yakuza game has ever made it.
Yeah, it could have done it, but no, the Yakuza game would have to. It
is a successful game, but it's still somewhat niche in some aspects. Like it has a locked audience. So I mean, I don't know.
Persona is niche, and it made it.
Persona 5. Persona 5 is the one that finally got over the hump. But before then, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure if this is the one that finally gets them over the hump.
Yeah, and I think partially because all the Yakuzas are so closely connected. So it's like when you see if your first game is Like a Dragon and you see Kiryu show up, you have no idea who this guy is. And so like I think you lose a bit of like what makes the game special if you aren't at least familiar with who these characters are and where they come from.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do think we'll see a couple Game of the Year contenders at the State of Play though. I think that'll make it a pretty decent show. That much I'll say. But with that being said, we got everyone's thoughts here, so we can roll into these wonderful outros. Somehow we stayed under 2 hours. I am so proud of you guys today. All right.
Going forward, we're gonna be better.
So
I mean, Coffee is not here, so that also counts.
Oh shucks.
Oh
man.
Yeah.
Let's blame Kofi for our long run times now.
You guys are lucky. I was about to ask Kofi to translate a Power World interview. One of the guys at Game Freak was talking to the guy from Power World and talk about how his game sucks, and he deleted his tweets. It was pretty interesting.
Well,
I wanted him to. I wanted him to I wanted him to translate it because I really wanted to know the full context of what the guy from Game Freak was saying because they were really judging. They've been judged. A lot of people have been judging Power World. Power World has shooken the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's well over 10 million sold at the moment. I mean, and at a $30 price point, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened was that a lot of people played it on Xbox Game Pass, realized they couldn't play it on that the latest version was on Steam and they couldn't use the servers on Game Pass, so they got on Steam just to use the servers, and they realized that the game has some memory leak issue.
That has happened, and on top of that, in the Asian market, they are including Power World with every Xbox Series S sold. So I'm sure
it's been a week. You told me they sold that many Xboxes in a weekend
in a whole region. I'm not saying they sold 1 million, but they probably sold a couple 100,000.
I wouldn't even give it a couple 100,000. I'll say you said South Korea. You said South Korea. You didn't say Japan too.
People are buying a console to play that game at the moment.
If they can't,
I gotta see that numbers because if they did 1 million,
that game is.
If that was 1 million over a weekend, that's impressive.
People are dying for that type of Pokemon game, and it's the closest thing that
kids are like, hey, but hey, we don't got a PC, son.
that's the closest
Sorry.
thing you're gonna get to it. The closest thing you're gonna get to that type of Pokemon game is Power World.
So, I'm about to say, hey, a potato can run it, so
yeah.
I hope that the lesson here, I mean, sure, Game Freak learned, but like that the industry sees that, like, hey guys, look how well this game is doing. That's quote unquote a medium tier game that's selling for $30. You could do this too.
Yeah, I mean,
like you don't have to make a giant AAA $70 game every single time.
Yeah, and it's like a dev team of 30 people, not some huge team.
Yeah. The main guy works at a gas station.
like
shit, not anymore. Not that at 10 million sales, he don't work at no gas station. He might own a gas station.
My man was
now.
A gas station at daytime, game developer at night, but, working his best on these crazy random IPs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy for the success that Power World is having, and I do hope that Nintendo has learned a lesson, because I know for a long time gamers have been asking for something a little bit more than Pokemon Stadium and whatever the Pokemon photo game was. I mean, Pokemon Go was such a breath of fresh air because it was something different, even though it's just a mobile game. Like,
yeah.
I mean, Arceus was a breath of fresh air. A lot of people like that. But I do hope that they start to listen to their community a little bit more, instead of just telling you, here, take this. This is what you're gonna get. Because someone made something very close, and
people are eating it up. The only thing I don't like about Power World is they did catch us with Pokemon with guns, because you can't make your first gun till you're level 21.
Yeah, that kind of turned me off from the game too. I was like, I'm a caveman. I can't get a gun real fast.
The grind's not that bad though. The grind from 0 to 21 is actually really easy.
I just want my gun, and I ain't like being a caveman. I want a little fit. Like, I want to be kind of icy from the jump. You know what I'm
saying? If you jump into someone else's server who already progressed, they can just give you the stuff straight up. Like my friend, I gave him my.
I don't got it on PC. You know what I'm saying, so.
Well, you got to wait for the servers though, for you guys to catch up with the servers. But it's okay. The game has a memory leak issue, so servers keep crashing because the RAM just gets overfilled.
It's gonna be a couple months for that game is getting up and running. I'm sure that Microsoft is on the job, because they've been working with them for a long time.
I would say definitely Epic Games, because right now they did. So if you look at the building thing, the one assets that they definitely bought was like some of the building assets for building your house right from the Epic Games Store office, which I'm not mad at them, because again, they're a very small team.
Bro.
But they're working on optimizing the game and fixing that memory leak issue, because that's causing servers to crash. You don't want your memory to be leaking out your system.
I just love how people are building their houses out of wood, and like people are just coming by and burning them shits down. Like, fuck your house.
That's why you get a private server with your friends, and don't go to any of the public servers, because only can they bring.
Even if you just play by yourself, you're not playing multiplayer. If you don't turn off raids, the pals will just come and burn your shit down.
Oh, the NPCs, those are easy to beat. Those are nothing.
I'm not saying that they're not, but if you're not paying attention, your shit get burned down. I think it's hilarious.
Just let the pals handle it.
Because I've seen people build some monstrosities like fucking Edo Castle and shit, and it just gets burned down.
Yep.
I'm like, I know that took a bunch of hours to build that. I know it did.
A bunch of resources, man. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, and it's not easy to come by them resources. It is not.
In the beginning, once you get established stable base, it's pretty simple.
I've only played like 4 hours, so
I got 40. Oh, actually, I got 49.
Okay, so you ahead of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into our outros. Nappy, where can people find you? And if you have any up and coming videos, let them know.
Yes. So if you guys want to look for me, you guys can find me on Nappy Century on YouTube and Nappy Century on Twitter. I have a plethora of controller reviews coming in. I actually getting sent another mobile controller, because companies are reaching out to me, even though I haven't been active recently. So it's kind of nice that I'm getting free stuff. I'm actually using a mobile controller right now. playing slow. I forgot what Snowbreaker. So it's like a little 3D anime third person shooter. And yeah, so I just continue gaming. You're going to see a lot more controller reviews coming from me. Some other products, some Fifine also reached out to me. So I don't know if I'm going to review their headsets because, I mean, I don't know what to say about a headset. If it works, it's good enough for me. So, but yeah, definitely just subscribe to this Vitamin G, and I'm glad to be part of the podcast. And hopefully can send you guys more content.
All right. And let's see, Jubei, where can people find you?
When I'm not tending to my fatherly duties, you can find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms, Jubei Sensei everywhere else, Jubei Jones on music platforms. Go check me out. Yeah, I need to fully dive into this Power World shit so I can catch up. I'm having too much fun. Catch y'all next week.
Yeah, gotta catch them all, man.
Gotta catch them all.
All right, Omar, where can people find you?
Look at my man Caravan Sportcap on Twitter and Other Player Podcast every Saturday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Great show. Hit that like button and see you next week.
All right. You can find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bizarre. Anywhere you like to watch streamers at the Land of Pharaoh, and I am starting to do content. I missed a week this week because wife was out on vacation, got kind of busy with the kids and everything. But I will be dropping some videos this week. So that's where you can find me. But last but certainly not least, Zero, where can people find you? More importantly, where can they find us?
You can find me watching the very boring and uninspired Super Bowl in the next 2 weeks because goddamn Ravens couldn't pull it together and win. But the less I talk about that, the better. So you can just find me, 0x386, pretty much everywhere you like to play games. But more importantly, you can find us, the Vitamin G Podcast, everywhere you like to listen to your favorite podcasts. Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, Google. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us which one of your favorite panel members we are. Like, hopefully it's me and just me. Just make me your favorite person to be there. Like, I'm not interested in the rest of these guys. I don't care. It's me. But as always, guys, you know, we certainly do appreciate you listening. You could be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us. So thank you. We appreciate you. And see you next time.
All right.
All right. See ya.
And with that said, smash that like button, share this out. And thank you for coming through and getting that weekly dose of that vitamin G. We are